Hello and welcome to Differential Discussions. I'm Melissa,
And I'm Dave.
and today we have another Do That Diff. Except this time we have a guest. We have Stephanie with us today. Stephanie, welcome.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I always say it. These are my fave. I think I secretly miss being a student and like taking tests and quizzes and stuff. So I think that's what it is.
Well, it's nice because you get to do it without the stress of being a student.
I know. Well, yeah, see, that's the other thing though, is I think as a student, I was like blissfully ignorant of the weight and the stress of the environment. I just kind of just did it. And I never really cared about being wrong. So yeah, here we are. It's worked out so far. So I won't change my strategy too much.
All right, well, I'm gonna share the CBC with the scattergrams so that you can take a look at it.
Sounds good. I love my data.
Yep.
Get you guys a lot of
Okay. So I think Melissa's chosen a cool one for us today. It looks like.
There we go.
I would say so.
So Stephanie, white count's low, right?
It's definitely low. And I'm also looking at that platelet count is low as well.
Yep. And then the age and age.
Yeah. So definitely anemia. Looking at the MCV, cells appear to be a little larger in size.
So I think on my differential diagnosis, so anemia, thrombocytopenia, and white count is low or high.
Right.
I think of leukemias, right?
Me too.
In the mind.
Yeah, the age, 83-year-old. So yeah.
Yep. We have that MCV is kind of like giving us an idea. I think we should probably think about like megaloblastic anemia as well, can present with like a pancytopenia.
Possibly, yes.
But the MCV should be higher, right? Like,
right. I would like to have seen the MCV be a little higher if this was a megaloblastic, like over 120 maybe.
Yep.
So I would say that maybe there might be some retics present.
Yep. Ooh, yeah. We don't have that data, do we, Melissa?
Nope.
All right. So we're flying a little bit blind, right? Because the retic would be helpful, right? Well, it may be helpful, I guess. So an elevated retic might indicate some kind of a hemolytic
right
process. But with the other two cell lines, and we also can't rule out some kind of an aplastic bone
No,
marrow.
you're right about that. You're right about that.
And then giving 83 years old, MDS probably on the table too, right?
Definitely.
So we have a couple different things.
We do. Now you said already that you think it was, or differential diagnosis would be leukemia. So based off the white count and the platelet count, are you going more towards acute or chronic?
Yeah, so it looks like it's presenting like an acute.
It is. I would say the same thing.
Yeah, chronics usually, can there be anemia? Yeah. Thrombocytopenia, maybe, right? But
usually thermocytosis.
Yeah, right. Especially with
CML. Yeah.
Yeah, the MPNs usually have some kind of thrombocytosis.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, maybe acute, but then the other thing that's kind of complicating things for me is so when I look at the diff scattergram, so let me get my annotation tools. I'm unprepared. So it looks like we have a population. This is a terrible circle. That's supposed to be a circle. We have a population of neutrophils, looks like. We have population of presumably limbs, right?
Right.
Monos, and then maybe some atyps above that. So
I'm thinking definitely some immature because of the way it's spiking up.
yeah, up at the top there, right?
Maybe blast.
Could be. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the table. So really, the diff is gonna hopefully give us a little bit more insight.
Yeah, I think so.
But our red cell and platelet histograms look like fine to me. Nothing too crazy there. And then we will note too, anisocytosis, the RDW is quite high.
Yes.
So yeah, Stephanie, if you're ready, maybe
I'm ready for the diff.
Let's look at the slide, Melissa.
Zoom is
Melissa's got the hard job, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
like, no, you can't.
She,
Okay.
she's got to fight the technology while we just kind of sit back.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like you know, low white count. Makes sense.
Mhm.
It's a little unclear, a little maybe I'd say blurry.
It is. I'm trying to get it unblurry. Oh,
Okay, all right. Okay.
better.
I never know when my eyes are failing
I think
me.
that's as unblurry as it's gonna get.
Okay, all right. And we're on which objective at the
10x.
moment? 10x. Okay. So
Are we out towards the feathered edge? Are we a little more?
Go further towards it.
yeah. I'm glad you said that. So I was just about to ask. I always like to cruise the feathered edge, especially on like pathological specimens, because
Mhm.
you might see some like scary, you know, large cells or something on the periphery here.
Right.
I wouldn't say anything standing out to me at the moment, but
Me neither.
you know, I do see it. I think I saw a couple of smudge cells. Is that accurate, Melissa? As we were passing by?
I wasn't looking for smudges, to be honest. Let's see.
Yeah. Not a lot though. Might have just been a couple one-offs.
Yeah.
I think they're just one-offs if you're seeing them.
Okay. So maybe we can go down in magnification now or go up. I always think like I'm in a helicopter or something, Stephanie. Like it's an elevation thing. All right.
Is that too bright or good?
No, that looks good to me.
Yeah, so I guess the reason why I asked like what part of the slide you were in is because I do see the rouleau, and I'm not sure if that's pathological or if that's because you are in too thick.
Good eye, Stephanie. So I did not draw the rule. So I thought it just looked like a big like a thick area. That's so that's fascinating.
Mhm.
So
You want me to cruise
yeah,
around a little bit?
yeah, could you push thinner and let's see what happens to our rouleau. Yeah. So I think I tend to agree with you. There looks like there's some kind of low grade rouleau or something.
Yeah, and I'm also seeing some retics, so that could account for the MCV being a little elevated.
Okay.
Um,
But then rouleau, you know, the classic condition associated with that would be like a plasma cell myeloma, multiple myeloma.
right, yeah, multiple myeloma, Waldenstrom's. So this would be helpful to have some chemistry results to see if the protein is elevated or possibly SPE.
Yeah. Could you punch up the electrophoresis, Melissa? Oh wait, I don't have that. Sucks.
So the thing is, we're not seeing a lot of cells, a lot of white cells.
Yeah, it's very low white count. Normal neutrophil.
Is anything sticking out to you about the RBC morphology besides the rouleau and the retic
Not
here and
particularly,
there,
no.
or polychromasia here or there?
I think I'm comforted by seeing some of the little bits of polychromasia that you commented on. So that's an interesting smudge over there. Ooh.
Oh, this is nice.
So now I think these are probably those fellas that were occupying the top of that diff scattergram, Stephanie. I
Yes.
think. Okay, so I would very much like to look closer at that.
Yes, me too.
Oh, this is coming together nicely, Stephanie.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Too bright or
No, I think that this is great.
Good?
This is
Yeah.
perfect. So this is reminiscent to me of some kind of a plasmacytoid type
I
appearance.
agree. Definitely with the eccentric nucleus, some of the clearing area, beside the nucleus.
Yep.
Definitely giving me lymph vibes, lymphoid
Yep.
lineage.
I agree. Yep, I agree. And then I'm noting the little projections, the fuzzy kind of projections. And so I think my worry with the pancytopenia now kind of a weird looking reactive cell, rouleau. This looks like a Waldenstrom multiple myeloma, maybe a conversion to like a plasma cell leukemia or something, possibly.
Right. And I think the same thing because these cells, if they're in the bone marrow, and there are a lot of them, they're going to crowd out the healthy cells, which is going to cause pancytopenia. I agree.
So yeah, maybe we just now drive around with this cell in mind. Just be mindful of excellent eye on the rouleau though. I totally yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you pat yourself on the back there because at 10x it didn't even enter my mind.
But yeah, it kind of stuck out to me. Okay, so
tell me what you think, right? But the pattern on the lymphocyte chromatin pattern kind of speaks to me of like what you might see in a plasma cell or maybe a CLL kind of a lymph.
right. So the size to me is giving small mature lymph, the size by itself, but still a little funky because of the projections that we're seeing, like you said, the chromatin pattern in the nucleus.
Yeah. So yeah, this doesn't help us too much, but it doesn't hurt the case either.
No.
So yeah. Melissa, yeah, you're gonna have to. I feel bad for Melissa because the white count's 2 points on him. There'll be a lot of sifting around. Platelets look fairly normal to me. The neutrophils we've seen pretty normal.
Yeah. Melissa, may I ask, is the color of your slide, is the stain a little more blue?
So I like you. So Melissa, what do you think at a glance?
I'm gonna pull it off. So sorry.
Fair enough. Yep, fair enough.
Not really.
Okay. Still doesn't rule anything out, right?
It doesn't.
No.
But Stephanie, so why were you why would you ask that? Why, so inform the audience a little.
Yeah, sure. So usually when a person has excessive proteins, too much proteins, the stain sometimes will appear to be blue on the when you go to stain it.
Yeah, so grossly, just macroscopically looking at the slide, some of the overwhelming Waldenstrom multiple myelomas I've seen, they're blue. I mean, it is crazy blue, especially when you hold it side by side with another slide. And it's irrespective of like white count, right? So like white count will cause that more purple tone, but those proteins, the proteinous plasma, yeah.
Right, and that's what's causing the rouleau is the excessive protein.
Yep. So interesting. So this may be a monocyte.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I mean, the vacuole can be a dead giveaway sometimes, but not always.
The thing I don't like is that floral kind of.
Yeah, I'm comfortable calling it a monocyte.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that too. I tell my students, I'm like 51%, right? And that's what that's what you hit on the counter, And,
yeah.
Okay. Normal lymph.
Yeah. Nothing really sticks out about it too much.
Yeah. I think that's also one of the tricky parts about like the plasma cell neoplasms is that they're not necessarily like obvious on the peripheral smear, right?
Yeah, and I would love to have seen more of this first cell. Well, the one we said looked like a plasmacytoid.
Yeah. So judging by the diff, if I'm gonna just kind of Rain Man throw out a number, I'm thinking like 5-10% of those cells, judging by the scattergram. And then with a 2 point something white count, you can be looking a while.
Yeah.
To see that.
Right. And I don't know if it's can we go into the thick area just to see if there are any back there? I know they still look a little distorted, but
So that looks pretty dark, and it might not be as resting. If did you move a little thicker, Melissa?
I went like this, boop, to
Okay,
the next
so just
adjacent
okay,
field, and it brought us thicker.
okay, yep. Um, yeah, that looks like really good rouleau.
Yeah.
I think it's just hard to look away from that one lymph we saw, and then the findings to pancytopenia.
Right. I agree.
I was
Oh,
hoping for like a gotcha cell.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just scanning on 10 to see if I see any others.
I appreciate you. So yeah, I like to tell students, and this is kind of an advanced technique, so you have to be careful when you're doing it, but you can always go to 10x, scan, find a cell, come back down to oil. I don't know if I should teach things like that because it can be like kind of abused in a bad way,
I understand.
but hey, okay. So we have another kind of reactive looking lymph.
Yeah, definitely giving me like plasma cell or plasmacytoid lymphocyte.
Yeah. What I wish I saw was something grossly wrong with the nucleus to then let me take the extra leap to say that it's a really like malignant abnormal cell.
Mhm.
Well, the other
Um,
thing with these plasma cell neoplasms is that each patient's plasma cells are going to look different. So it could just be that, by flow cytometry, this is a plasma cell, but to our eye, it looks more like reactive. So it could be, well, this is Joe Schmo's plasma cells
right, right.
and not like your
Right.
typical plasma cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go on a limb and say that what we've been saying all along.
Yeah. With more data, we could tell you exactly which one it is, but we're gonna just umbrella it's a plasma cell neoplasm.
That's what it looks like.
Yep,
Is that
this is
accurate?
multiple myeloma.
Okay.
Victory!
Very nice.
Stephanie, this was a pleasure to work with you on this one.
Yes, I have fun.
Um, super cool. And I
Mhm.
like how muted it was in terms of the actual cell morphology,
Yeah.
right? So we used the circumstantial data from the differential. The agglutination finding, what's funny is the red cells ended up being one of the biggest kind of red flags.
Yeah.
So kudos to Stephanie. You make your students proud, I'm sure.
Thank you. You as well.
Really cool.
Oh, that was really fun.
So what do you think, Melissa?
Well, I think that's all we have for this video. So Stephanie, thanks for joining us.
I
And
enjoyed it.
and everybody else, thanks for watching.
Thank you for your time. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you'd like notifications whenever we post a new video. And feel free to reach out to us on social media or via email with comments or suggestions about future content. Thanks.